It's not a bad city. I used to have a friend who used to DJ for Much Music Canada.
Oh.
So I used to always go to, I'd go visit him when I was hanging out and stuff like that. And we'd make fun of people, and I get to see all the rock stars and stuff like that. So.
All right. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
I've never been anywhere in Canada other than Victoria, BC. But I loved it up there. That was a great trip.
I've never been to Canada.
Really? I've been all over the States.
Oh, me too.
All over.
I've been all over America.
So we're still waiting for Jack and Will to log in, but I think now's a great time to bring up. So I posted in the Facebook group. Are we good for playing the Friday after Thanksgiving, or what do you guys got going on?
I'm planning on playing.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of what that's where I'm at, but I figured I'd ask.
This is Will. I can't make it, but feel free to play without me.
And I'm not sure where I stand just yet on that.
Okay.
I'm generally not in charge of the holiday plans.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. I know how that can go. What about you, Gabe? Are you?
I should be good.
Okay. So I guess we'll wait and let's do a wait and see. And I'll rebroach the subject, say Monday or Tuesday, and we'll cross our fingers that we have enough to go on. Because this next section has the potential to be quite lethal. So I don't know that we want to be down too many people. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But the holiday, usually throws a monkey wrench in all the plans. So
perhaps you could prepare a slight one shot of some sort that is just kind of outside. Even if our characters go unaffected. I'm playing to play, so
right.
I don't give a shit if I lose all my equipment. You can scrap the character, what the fuck ever. I'll play another one. It's no problem. So I mean that's me. I don't care even if it doesn't count. We could do anything. I don't give a shit.
Right.
That's where I'm at. Just speaking for me.
Well, we will. Like I said, let's discuss it again in the Facebook group on say Monday or Tuesday, and get a feel for where everybody's at. Because like Will said that he won't be able to make it, and which I totally understand.
Sure.
Thanksgiving is one of the biggest travel holidays of the year, so I figured I'd better ask. Oddly enough, this year it seems like all three of my groups, pretty much everybody's pretty golden for the most part. So I don't think I've ever had a year of doing this where Thanksgiving everybody's like, yeah, we can all play. Usually people are like, Wednesday night, the night before, no, can't, we're prepping, we've got family coming over, or we're traveling, or but this year it seems like everybody's battening down the hatches and either staying home or staying local at the very least.
Yeah, we're good because our Thanksgiving has already come and gone. So,
right, yeah. I was gonna say it doesn't really affect you. You guys have a different Thanksgiving, so.
Yep, just for fun.
My Canadian friends celebrate both because they love turkey, but.
Right, I mean, that's like,
what? We don't have to have a holiday to actually have any kind of turkey, so.
See, and I keep trying to tell my wife that, and she's like, no, you only get it for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and that's it.
It's really hard to finish all of the turkey leftovers.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I'm a pretty big turkey hound, so there's usually not a whole lot left.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, you're good then.
Yeah.
Shoot.
We're going to do prime rib.
Nice.
Ooh. Oh, that's
Nice.
that's a good option right there.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, last year for New Year's, I smoked like a lot of prime rib. I had a 9-pound prime rib and then a 5-pound prime rib, and I smoked them both, and did a enormous pot of fondue.
Ooh, I bet that was amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty tasty. It was pretty good.
Yeah, that and then I guess my next favorite thing to make for holiday stuff is deer roasts. You know, just get a crock pot and toss a bunch of shit in there, and then toss the deer roast.
What do you do for that? Like, how do you season it? Because I tried doing some deer in the crock pot once. It was a bit of a challenge to get that gamey taste out of it.
Alcohol.
Well, you know, it's when we kill it, you know, we cut it up and then we put it in a cooler with salt water and buckets. I mean, buckets of ice. Just keep it cool in there. Soak that for a couple days, then drain that, and then I just cut it up in a bunch of roasts, and then the backstrap, and a lot of the other stuff I'll donate to Hunting for the Hungry. So that go to feed homeless people. But and then I get a beef broth and beef stew spices, and then like some beans, maybe some potatoes, toss some carrots in there, just whatever the fuck. Yeah, lots of onion is real good, and then I'll just toss the whole roast right there in the crock pot, set it on low, and go to work. And then that night the whole house smells wonderful, and we'll eat that shit until it's gone. I mean, there'll be the juice left in there, and we'll be pouring that in a bowl and dipping bread in it. I mean, it's just so good. But yeah,
that
sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds amazing.
Yeah. But that's where we go with it. My boss, partner guy, he makes this deer smoked sausage with cheddar cheese and jalapenos chopped in it, and it is so good.
I got some of that.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I made some of that.
We cut that up, and my vegetarian stepdaughter turned. I turned her to the dark side. Right there on that, the smell of it. She goes, "Well, can I try one?" And I'm like, this is meat. And she goes, "Okay, I'll just take one." And she ate it.
100% vegan.
And she
free range.
Yeah. It was a plant-based diet because the deer are herbivores. So yeah. So
that's
the meat,
why it's vegan.
Yeah, it is a. But yeah, it turned her to the dark side. I mean, not permanently or nothing. She has the freedom to do her own thing with what she eats and all that. But yeah, that was an end to the vegetarian reign for a while.
All right, I will go ahead and bring us in. I just sent out a message to Jack, see if he's going to be able to make it. I know with daycare issues that could be challenging. But welcome to the Deepnight Revelation campaign. We will be picking up where we left off kind of where we left off last week. I made the decision today to just kind of gloss over some of the boring stuff and just kind of move on. Because there's, we don't need to role play bouncing around in a banged up jalopy buggy to get you to what passes as a starport on Neon. But before we get started, we would like to thank a friend of the Greenwater Guildhall. These are not sponsorships or partnerships of any kind. These are just products that we really, really like. And tonight we would like to thank Dogmight Games. Dogmight Games makes beautiful wooden accessories for your tabletop games, such as wooden DM screens, dice vaults, dice trays, towers, They've got this really cool thing called the Player Vault that has a plexiglass screen with the character sheet of your choice etched on it, so you can take notes on it or keep track of hit points, etc. And it's got a dice tray and all manner of good stuff in it, compartments. If you all of their stuff can be customized, and if you order something that's customized, it usually ships within 5 to 8 weeks. If you order something that's they have in stock in their inventory, that usually ships in 1 to 2 business days from time of purchase. And we have a 10% discount coupon. It's good for anything on their site. If you put stuff into your cart, and when you check out, use the code FRIEND in all capital letters. That will get you 10% off on your cart. If you are a fan of our Traveler game, we have a webpage via Obsidian Portal. The adventure log is written in the manner of news articles. Right now they're detailing stuff that's going on the edge of the Great Rift, the rimward edge of the Trojan Reach area. But in the future, that will change to more or less a in-ship newsletter kind of thing, because these guys are going to be way out in the black. I described it to Luke. He asked me what kind of campaign this was, and I the best description I've come up with yet is I said it would be like Battlestar Galactica meets Stargate SG-1. Is probably the best description I've come up with, and that kind of sums up what this campaign is going to morph into fairly reasonably. So last week, you guys, you fought off the Peterson's Creepers, the large, big, lion-sized lobster creatures with scorpion tails. And you just, when you come out of your, you came out of your cargo container that you had set up as your bolt hole, and these things just trashed proving site number 9. So they are on a they were hijacked and drugged, put into low berth freezer units, shipped as cargo. They were skilljacked. A skilljacking ring kidnapped them and brought them to the planet Neon on the edge of Imperial space. And basically they were going to be sold for their skills to, who knows who. They do know that one of the clients that purchases them, or purchases these, they're slaves, let's just call them what they are, is the Augman Raiders. And the Augmans don't have a good reputation overall. Depending on what clan you run into, you might run into a clan that just wants you for your technical knowledge, or you might run into a clan that decides that anybody who can't read, they're just going to eat them. So, you don't know what you're going to run into with these guys. They're a little bit random. And so, I guess as luck would have it, these guys actually ran into the middle of a corporate war, and their ship was sabotaged. There was an EMP device. Now, this EMP device was supposed to go off after the small hauler landed at what they call Proving Site Number 9. And Proving Site Number 9 is there's a company called Stenmore Minerals that goes to planets, and they do core samples and test a claim to see if it's actually going to produce anything worthy of a mine. If it does, they turn around, they sell the claim to another company, such as Outsystem Minerals or Stern Metal Horizons, companies like that. But Stenmore Minerals doesn't actually do any real mining. They just go prove the site's viable, and then they move on. A trading consortium, the Florian Aslan Consortium and Trade anyways, their acronym is Fat Cat. They tried to get Stenmore Minerals to join the consortium. Stenmore said no because they are not a trading company. They don't feel that they needed to join, and so Fat Cat is not above and it's not beyond them to try to strong arm companies, and that's what this EMP was supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be anything that was going to injure anybody. Basically, they had hit it in one of the ore hoppers. The small hauler it was supposed to land at Proving Site 9. The EMP would go off, and then it would cost Stenmore Minerals hundreds of thousands of credits to repair the electronic infrastructure of the site and the small hauler. Instead, what happened was that the device went off early, causing not only Proving Site number 9 to go dead, but the small hauler crashed into a lake, nearly drowning everybody. One of the 3 crew members of the ship was killed, and the other 2 crew members left these guys in their low berths, and their excuse was the guy who died told them that, they were already dead. And indeed, there were other people in those low berths that did die, but not our travelers. And so the travelers made their way to Proving Site number 9. And the other thing that happened when the EMP went off is it agitated the Peterson's creepers, which are large spider-like creatures, kind of lobsterish. This is what they look like. This is a killer. And they came out, and of course, once they were agitated, they wanted to put a stop to all the EMP, and they thought, oh, hey, look, there's meat bags running around, let's eat. And so these guys had an interesting night. In the morning, they discover that Proving Site number 9 is a wreck. They have no equipment, and they patched together one of the field buggies, and they made it to another proving site that was about 60 kilometers away from Site number 9. And at that site, of course, their equipment was working, so they were able to put in a distress call, and you have been picked up. They sent 2 ships or two small haulers over, one to take you guys to the Neon Starport, in quotes, and the other to assess the damage at Proving Site number 9 and to basically investigate. So my question, you guys have not met Hannibal yet. I'm not sure why Hannibal's on this planet. Nobody should be on this planet. Even the miners don't want to be on this planet. It has a Class D starport, and that's what this map is that you're looking at. I honestly, now that I'm looking at it, I think this map is actually a little too nice for what this planet would really denote. But so be it. So I don't know why Hannibal's in the Star Town on Neon, but here he is. And the question I have to Sarda, George, Bocephus, and Jack. So you guys have these 2 prisoners. You have Sael, who was one of the skilljackers. She tried to claim that the whole idea was the skipper's. That was the skipper's plan. And you also, and she ended up killing the skipper. As far as you know, you heard a gunshot go off, and the skipper didn't come back, and he became creeper food. Then there's the Proving Site number 9's doctor, Dr. Telford, was also in on this, and but he wanted to come clean. But he took a creeper killer stinger to the chest, and so he has been fairly unconscious. They're both unconscious. So my question is, what do you guys want to do with them? I mean, so do you want to turn them into the authorities here? And to let you know, Neon might be a backwater with a Class D starport, and this star town has a total of 5 bars. Now that pretty much covers the entire planet. That's all the bars on Neon, but it does have 5 bars. But it also has a law level of 11. So all armor and weapons are illegal. Now, you guys get a little bit of a pass from the constable in that your situation. Obviously, you guys are survivors, but he would prefer that your weapons be unloaded while you're in town. But the question that he wants to know is, well, I got a couple of questions. The first question is, do you want to turn in these 2 prisoners here and let him and the company deal with them, or do you want to include them as part of the package for the company is offering to pay for your passage back to Tobia? And he wants to know if you want to turn them in here, or do you want to include them as part of your package and just low berth them and let Tobia authorities deal with them? And then the second question to that is, one of the things that Bocephus found on sale was a key card that unlocked a cargo locker in the Tobia spaceport. And are you going to bring that up to the authorities, or are you just going to keep that to yourselves?
I'm all for turning these guys in at Tobia. Maybe we might get some kind of a reward out of them versus here. And I definitely don't want them to find out about the key card.
I agree on the key card.
So I will say this: if you bring up the key card, and it sounds like you don't want to, which I think is wise, because if you were to bring up the key card, then 2 things will happen. The first being everything that's in that locker would be considered evidence, and ain't nobody going to get their hands on it until that whole long-winded court case is done. And number 2, they will want to any equipment that doesn't technically belong to you after everything's all said and done, or any cash that doesn't belong to you, will be repatriated to whoever it does belong to. And you don't even know if these people are alive.
Yeah, I don't really necessarily. If it was really up to me, I would say let's just tie them to a tree and move on. We don't have to kill them. We don't have to do anything. We can just, give them a nice dose of knockout juice to numb them up real good and set them free, and let karma decide how their path leads.
Yeah, I'd say let's bring him to Tobia. We can, let the 2 turn them both in. As long as they interrogate them separately. The doctor seems to be cooperating, and I'm sure he's going to contradict anything she tries to lie about. So.
Yeah, but the thing is on that is we don't know anything about either of these people, or I mean, turning them in, attaching our names to them, and if they're in this big syndicate or something, then it's a bunch of enemies, and
they sent a rescue to rescue us. They don't know. They didn't necessarily know who we are, why we were there, and so there are going to be questions, about how we got there, and so those questions are answered by the 2 people that kidnapped us. And
that makes sense. Then yeah, we'll turn them in. I'm not strong on it either way, but.
So Gabe's character Jack, as you were once Jack and Riker rejoined the group and tied up Sael and Telford as prisoners. On Sael, Jack found this. It is a custom Derringer. Essentially, it was made by some craftsman in the Neon Star Town. It is a 4-shot Derringer. It's not quite a body pistol, but it is a nifty little gun as long as you're within 5 meters. I don't know who would want that. This definitely seems more like a Sarda or Bocephus kind of pocket pistol. But I don't know. I don't know what you guys want to do with it.
I'm not. I don't really want it.
Can we sell it to the?
I'm sure you could.
Yeah, and see if we could get some party funds going.
Yeah.
With a law level 11, it might be tough to sell. But
yeah, you're probably gonna have a hard time. Oh, I don't know. A law level 11.
Perhaps we could sell it to the law.
Some shady backwater alley. I'm pretty sure there's some backwater punk out there who would love to have a nice custom Derringer pistol.
One thing I can tell you about high law level planets is they tend to have much larger black markets. So, yeah, I don't necessarily know that you would have too hard of a time finding somebody that would want to buy this. Especially, now that you guys have been brought to the Star Town, there's not a whole lot of people on Neon. So, word about what happened to you guys and what happened to Proving Site number 9 has gotten out. And it's law level 11, but then it also needs to be kept in mind that the constable of the Star Town, that's not his full-time job. His full-time job is either working as a miner or working as a farmer, and so he's a part-time constable. And they certainly aren't going to want people to not have the ability to take care of themselves, especially out on the farm. So really that law level really applies mostly to the Starport and Startown. When you're out on your farm or out on a proving site or a mine, they're not going to care so much. And it's like the sheriff has told you guys, he understands what you went through, and he's not going to confiscate your weapons. As long as you leave your weapons unloaded, you can carry them around. That's fine. As long as you're not a threat. It's like he said, for the most part, people on Neon, if you get into big trouble and you're banned from the only 5 bars on the planet, that's usually punishment enough.
I say we try to find some place to sell this thing. I bet you we can get, book values, like 250 credits. I bet you we could sell it for 500 credits to some shady back alley black marketeer.
Yeah, that sounds about. You'd be able to get 500 credits for it.
I mean, I guess we should. Whoever has the good streetwise should go find the black market.
That is whoever wants to make a streetwise or. Streetwise check is really going to be your required skill. Streetwise plus intellect is going to be really what you're searching for.
I think I got that. Does anybody have anything higher than a 2+2?
Nope.
Okay, I'm going to go
one.
Find a back alley and try to sell this Derringer 4-shot thing. So that's 8 plus 2 plus another 2 is 12.
Okay. Yep. Wow, that is really good. So you do find some farmer in a back alley. Actually, you find him in one of the 5 bars. It is a little bit more of a rough and tumble saloon slash. It's a minor bar. The social graces don't regularly attend these kinds of establishments, and in this bar you meet this Vargur, and this Vargur introduces himself as Hannibal. Luke, you can tell us a little bit about Hannibal. You can even tell us a little bit about what you've done in the past.
Oh boy. Sorry guys, my role playing is a little bit rusty. Give me just a second here. I'm still catching up on what's going on in the.
So Luke has played in. I ran Deepnight Endeavour as a one-off, and he played in that game. He's going to not give away any of the details of that because that is where we're heading next. But the fun thing about that game is that there's no way that it can come out the same twice. It just.
Uh-huh. But what I'm going to say is I have no idea what brings you assholes back to this barren part.
That is yeah, ain't nobody want to be here. I like I said, I don't know why you would have ended up here. Evidently the group you were traveling with petered out. They all split and scattered for parts unknown. I will tell you this, Luke, you have heard that the Aslan Rexar, who was traveling with your group, has shown up in the news a couple of times. It seems that he is... there are rumors in the news that he is possibly traveling with a group of pirates throughout the Trojan Reach. That's the only thing you've heard of. You heard that the Scion that was traveling with you, who through a minor accident of Hannibal's, lost his arm and his leg. May have also been traveling with the same pirates. So, but you haven't heard anything from them since. So, there could have been any number of reasons. I mean, Hannibal might have ended up on Neon being a strike breaker or something like that. But you meet these guys, and you ain't got anything else going on.
Nope, I sure don't. So where are you guys heading next?
I don't know that we've decided that.
Well, like I said,
we were going to Tobia, weren't we?
Yeah, Stenmore Minerals has essentially their foreman or a foreman on the planet, their corporate rep, as it were, is apologizing profusely that essentially their employees, kidnapped you, and they are offering all expenses paid trip back to Tobia on the nearest Star Cruiser. Because this is mostly a mining system, he can't promise that it's going to be, great luxury and comfort, but they will pay all expenses paid, and they'll even cover, your hotel room costs while you're on Tobia, so that you can get back on track going where you're going. Where you were originally heading was out to Chandler Station, because George is following up a lead that there was a girl that went missing in the Trojan Reach from the planet Blue, and he was following up a possibility that she had joined a crew for a company called Deepnight Exploration LIC, and he may have found out where the lost ship Deepnight Endeavour is actually located.
Okay, and so that's kind of where we're going
that's now. That's kind of the plan.
Okay, so I'm gonna say, I was listening on the long range comms, and I heard some chatter about somebody gone missing that works for some company. I don't know, however many light years from here.
Okay.
Shall we join up?
Well, are you up to date on your inoculations vaccine?
I love Bohefus.
No.
Yeah,
Oh,
we've got some custom trucks that'll help with.
I've got some custom stuff that'll knock the memory right out of
Literally.
you. Yeah.
Nope. I don't
That's
need any
awesome.
of that.
Yeah, I would say that you have 4 vials of that stuff left.
All right. I'll definitely keep it in my medicine bag. I mean, you never know when it might come in handy.
Oh yeah,
I mean, the memory eventually comes back, maybe.
maybe.
You know?
Do you also need a booster?
Yeah. Well, it took these guys like damn near 24 hours to even remember what their name was. So.
Is it a suppository?
No.
It can be.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah. You're not one of those guys that think anything can be a dildo if you're brave enough.
Oh, anything is a dildo if you are brave enough.
Oh, no.
It's great trying to work around a pin on a hand grenade.
Wow. Yeah.
So
Pass.
you sell this Derringer to some miner for 500 credits, and I mean it's well worth it. It's a nice little Derringer. So then the question is, you guys want to take these two back to Tobia? The sheriff, he just kind of says, if it were me, I would put these guys on ice. I would put them in a low berth. I wouldn't really bother taking up a stateroom with people who kidnapped good folk. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah, though that seems very logical. I mean, that's where they put us. It seems like it's a good way to send them.
We don't want to watch them.
It means we don't
Right.
we don't have to worry about them.
I have no opinion on the matter.
None.
So
I really don't care about these people. We can space them in hyperspace and watch them boil in hydrogen, or we can let them join the team. I don't really care. I'm happy either way.
Well, just putting them in low berths mean we don't have to worry about.
Yeah.
We don't have to
Just
worry
put
about
them on ice and let them do whatever it is that they're going to do. I want nothing to do with them. I think we can turn them in for a little bit better money later on. I mean,
Yeah, that's fine with me. Yeah, happy little payoff.
a little bounty on these little freaks that
Yeah.
tried to.
Hey, I guess now would be an excellent time that if we're going to have party funds or something like that, we should maybe talk about who is going to actually write that crap down.
I got it.
You're a great man, a scholar and a gentleman.
Because I know everybody hates that. And
Oh.
if you saw my Discord from the other game on how they each have a thing, somebody's in charge of the ship's locker, someone's in charge of the money, someone's in charge of everything else.
Oh, I'm totally
And
fine with that.
I actually keep a notebook of everything anyway, so it's just
yeah, every group has to have somebody who's going to keep track of the party kitty.
okay. So party funds, we're just going to put in. We have 500 credits.
Speaking of funds, where do we need to go to get our old stuff?
So that is
we're working on that.
That
I
is
think.
the question. It is not anywhere here in Neon Starport.
What are the odds that locker key that we have has our stuff?
Yeah, that's a good bet.
Let's hope. Let's go hit that locker. 'Cause we're right now walking around with 500 credits, and some shotguns.
Yeah, I agree with that. I actually had a small suggestion because we have another telepath in the party. Is that correct?
Well, Sarda has some, isn't it?
I'm clairvoyant.
Just you don't have telepathy.
I do not have telepathy. I'm clairvoyant only.
Oh.
And we know that 'cause we had a backstory with one of the. So it's one of those things where I know that you know that I'm psionic, but I'm not telepathic.
Okay.
Clearly clear.
You know, I was thinking while we were doing all this traveling and everything, if I could, at least make one attempt to get down in this. Well, I don't know. Their memory's kind of wiped. So I mean, reading their mind probably wouldn't give me any information on where our shit might be.
So you want to use telepathy to do that, or
on the woman that might work on the woman, but you're gonna have to pry her pretty deep if she's been unconscious.
I have to probe her. Is what I have to do. I mean, that's a very difficult check, but I mean, maybe I could take my time and do it when I have a fresh fresh load of psi points. You know, I mean, that's plus 4 there, and then my telepathy would give me a plus 5 on the roll.
Okay. I mean, you can go ahead and do that.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that's a plus 5. I mean, it's worth a shot. All I gotta do is break 12, and we might just get the golden goose egg.
Yeah, find out who she was working with might also be useful, because she wasn't doing this on her own.
Let's just ignore the suggestion and move along.
Yeah, that's not going to cut.
With a 9, you do get some images that you're correct that you see it's a storage locker at the Starport on Tobia, and it doesn't really give it justice. When I say storage locker, it's not like a locker like you would see at an airport. This is more like a self-storage unit at the Tobia spaceport. And you don't necessarily see your stuff in particular, but you see a bunch of people's stuff. There's a bunch of crap in there.
Okay. Then when I get this information, I will look around to my compadres and I will say, friends, a mystical force of the universe has reached out to me and has guided me to this location. All our needs will be fulfilled if we enter the locker. There is stuff scattered about, just all kinds of people's stuff.
I'll kind of laugh and go, okay, let's do it.
So you basically sit around Tobia Startown, or not Tobia, Neon Startown for about 11 days before a ship becomes available that's going to jump out of system. In that 11 days, out of that 500 credits, you end up spending another 61. Most of the people in town they're nice, good people. Gruff, corporate, roughnecks, but they're good people. And you've in the 11 days you found it hard to spend money. One, there wasn't anything that you want to buy here, unless you had an inkling to purchase mining picks and hard hats, or even spend money on beer or food. W. So you only end up spending like 61 credits.
61 credits.
The ship comes and they're quickly thrown into low berths and treated as cargo, and you board the ship and it takes off. Now, this is your first chance to really get a look at what the Neon system actually looks like as you are taking off. And this at the top is a diagram, more or less, of what the star system looks like. It is a binary star system, with Neon being 1.84 AU out from the main primary star. where a lot of these miners are heading is out to the planetoids that are like 50 plus AU out. There's small belts out at the end. I mean, we're talking like damn near the Oort cloud, as far as where they're going out to mine. There's some stuff going on, in system around, in between the large gas giant and Neon itself, but these small haulers are really put to work. And so you jump out of this system, and interestingly enough, I didn't bring up that map, but it takes you a couple of weeks, and you get to Tobia. And this is Tobia. Now, Tobia, this map, in my opinion, this planetary map of Tobia is not great. And the reason is because if you look at this planetary map, you would assume that there is more water and greenery visible than there is. Tobia, that is not true for Tobia. Tobia has a world-girdling city. Think Coruscant from Star Wars. There are literally capital ships that dock into the upper spires of Tobia City. This planet is probably the most high-tech cosmopolitan planet most of you have seen. You've heard stories about capital, and that this is kind of what you would expect.
So multi-layered kind of city on top of city on top of city.
Yes, this is a good example of what Tobia's Startown looks like, and it's just it goes on, to the beyond the horizon. This planet is just immense as far as the city goes. Following up, when you get to the planet, they check you out. You are standing, in the concourse with these two lowberths on wheels that you could push around. Where do you want to go first?
Locker.
No.
Yeah, let's turn them in. Yeah, that's a good idea.
What do you want to do?
Drop off your cold luggage.
Yeah, we drop off the cold luggage because I don't want to be lugging that around, and then let's head to the locker.
Okay, so you guys, it's not hard for you to find Imperial authorities. This is a Imperial Starport.
We also want to know if we can get a bounty on these guys too. Put that into our party fund.
So yeah, you go into the Starport Security Center, and basically, are you just going to lay out your story for them? What is happening?
Everything except for talking about the cargo container.
Okay. So you're there for probably a good 3 or 4 hours. You're each questioned. Hannibal's like, I wasn't even there for this, so
Nope. I'm curious as to why we're standing in a locker room. That's the women's at a gym.
Right. So, the Imperial authorities, like I said, they question each of you. All of your stories kind of match up. They confirm your story with representatives from Stenmore Minerals, and the investigator in charge tells you that they have been tracking these skill jacking rings. He tells you, he says, you have no idea how rampant skill jacking is. Not just in the Trojan Reach, which I feel is a hive of scum and villainy that we should just forget about the Trojan Reach and leave them to their own devices. No, it's not just there with those pirates. This skilljackers are rampant even in Imperial space, and he says that there is an investigation on multiple worlds right now, trying to track down multiple rings, and he believes that he knows that these guys are involved in a particular ring, and he does want to offer a reward for you bringing in both of them.
Can I send him a positive vibe to make him feel generous, to maybe increase our reward?
You can go ahead and make an empathy check.
Yeah, do that.
I'll let him know that the male actually seemed repentant and was talking about stopping. But she was the one that seemed to be the leader of the group, and she actually killed one of her accomplices.
Oh,
and
he writes that down. He's like, oh, so we can add a murder charge. Okay.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get them all down there. And, and see, I'm still really eager about a bounty.
Well, not to mention the fact that there were others that didn't make it, that were in the
yeah.
So in terms of murder charges, I mean, there were others that were in the cold berths that didn't make it. So
he's willing to give a reward for you guys bringing in these two people, and it looks like Bocephus, you weren't successful with your empathy.
No, it's a telepathy.
Oh, telepathy.
The sonic. Yeah, telepathy is a routine 6.
Oh, okay. So you were just barely successful.
Yeah, it's just a basic emotion is all I can make somebody feel. It's I can also use it on animals or as a psychological weapon according to the description in the spell or the skill or whatever you will. But I just want to make him feel generous in hopes, I'll sacrifice the point. I would just like to make him feel generous. So perhaps our reward would be.
He says that the reward initially was 10,000 credits. He is going to raise that to 17,000, and he hands over 17,000 credits in cash. You guys can split it up however you would like.
So 17,000 credits in cash.
Yes.
George is, I guess, acting as captain right now because he's getting the money. Does anybody have a problem with that?
Nah.
However you guys want to do it.
I mean, I'm not saying he can tell us when to wipe or whatever like that, but I mean,
Awesome.
our things might be streamlined if we put somebody
But
in
only
a.
use one square because we're on a budget.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey.
no, actually, that's 17,000 credits. I mean, that you can all have 2 squares. That's digital, right?
The captain's feeling generous today. So yeah, I don't know if you guys want to put that, keep that in the party kitty or split it up. That's up to you guys. However you want to do that. Now, let's see here. Let's see. 11, 12.
I mean, you could do a combination of the two if you wanted to, George.
That's what I'm thinking of doing, actually. You know what?
We're in a high class place here, and so we might need.
There
let's hit the locker. Why don't we hit the locker before we agonize over how to split 17,000? You know what I mean?
Right.
There should be a mill there.
Right. Let's hit the locker and then figure out what we're splitting up.
Okay.
Hey, yeah, I agree. Sarda has got a valid point.
Yeah, Sarda's got the idea there.
So you go to this storage locker and you open up this storage locker. There's a lot of junk in here. Some of it there's literally like old furniture. There's it seems like there is memories from 100 different people's lives stashed in here. Whatever they were traveling with at the time seems to have been stuffed into this locker. There are a bunch of different clothes that'll fit anybody that wants a set of clothes. Anywhere from your standard t-shirt and blue jeans all the way up to very nice suits, women's clothes, for Hannibal. And
Right.
and then there is some different types of armor, and there are some weapons. Now,
What about our stuff?
and your stuff. So,
Okay.
so the last thing that you find is essentially a high-tech steamer trunk. And in this high-tech steamer trunk, you find another 15,000 credits. Of that, any starting money that your character started out with is included in that.
Okay, if you had starting money, let's just separate that out of the 15,000, and we'll start splitting this stuff up.
Right. So you get your guys' starting money. Of course, Hannibal, you have your stuff already. But if you guys had starting money, that can now go back to you. If you had armor, it can go back to you. And if you had any weapons, it can go. Anything that you had that you mustered out with at character creation is now back in your possession.
My sweet sword I don't know how to use.
Yes.
I mustered out with 55k and a sword I don't know how to use.
That's okay. It's all good, right?
I mean, the gun that I know how to use would have been a little more useful, but
Okay.
In addition, you do find some armor. The first, you find 2 suits of TL10 cloth armor.
Okay, actually, I bought myself one. I wish I would have known that. I wouldn't have spent the money. No. That's really good armor for somebody because that is a +8 protection.
Yeah.
For the cloth armor. So
Well, I don't really plan on being that much of a combatant, as I'm really a medic.
Well,
I don't
medics
mind
can
having
still get shot.
It's
I
not,
got a
you know,
question.
it's not
Do
a-
we still
it's not
have
allowed.
our back suits and our shotguns and the hatchets and things like that we got from?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Good.
you
So
I
I
wouldn't
wanted to know.
see any reason for you to give that back. I know that Jack's suit, he took a slash. I would imagine in the time spent in jump getting to Tobia, you would have probably spent some time patching it up. So yeah, you still have your vac suits.
I mean, the cloth armor is great. It's just not allowed anywhere where the law level's 4 or better. I mean, so it's, it makes it kind of rough to use.
Yeah, especially at TL10. It's not until you get, 12 or higher that it's really useful because it can be made to look like regular clothing or worn under regular clothing.
How much were we allowed to spend if we got mustered benefits of a gun?
I believe it's 3,000 and tech level 12.
Right.
3,000 tech level 12. Thank you.
I mean,
So
we can
usually
still-
you have to pump accessories onto it to get it up to that 3k.
So you also find
Okay.
a tech level 8 flak jacket.
Somebody could take that. I'm good because I found my cloth armor, and I keep Jack armor around as well too, just because I can wear it anywhere. And I know it's only +1, but
Hey, it's
It does
better than nothing.
it does the job when you're like, especially in some place that the tech levels or law levels really high.
All right. Well, so Is it safe if I write the cloth armor down? One of those 2 suits of cloth armor down for my character?
Take it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
No. And I'll take the other cloth armor, I guess, if no one else wants it.
I already
We-
have some.
We lost one of our PCs that was on the planet with us, right? The players dropped. Is that correct? The
I don't-
Aslan?
No, I don't know that he. I haven't heard that he dropped. I know that he has. He had some daycare issues, so I don't.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But I haven't heard from him recently, so I don't. I'm not sure where he's at tonight. Might be doing
we'll keep a
holiday
little
stuff.
bit.
I don't know.
We split up the money. We'll keep some around and just in case, and then we'll put a little side to him, and then if he doesn't return, well, it's going to be a fine time in the liquor store for the rest of us.
Right.
I miss whiskey and cigars.
Oh yeah. That led to some interesting games.
And just to clarify, slug weapons 3,000 or less, TL12 or less.
Correct.
That's it.
Correct.
All right.
It could be an energy weapon too. It doesn't have to be a slug for that. If it's the muster, is that correct?
Right. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a slug weapon.
I'll be back in just a second, guys.
Okay.
I really like the stunner.
Yeah. So, and I was just going to get to that. So you do find 2 stunners in here.
Okay, I'm just going to start writing some of this stuff down in a... Okay, so both cloth armors are taken. Does anybody want the stunners?
I won't. Man.
So Gabe wants one.
Okay, that's gone. So we don't have anything extra. I'm just thinking like what things, like what extra stuff are we going to end up with here that we can possibly just sell? So-
I'll take the other stunner if there were 2, right?
Yeah, there's 2. Yeah.
You also find an auto pistol.
What's the tech level in that stunner? There.
It is tech level 10.
Okay.
Ugh. Doing what now?
No, they're still splitting up loot.
Oh,
I already have an auto pistol, but if no one wants the other one, I'll take that one as well too, and maybe do a little bit of that, pew pew pew
Do
gangster
You
stuff.
go John Wooey on people.
Yeah. I mean, it gives you a little bit of a negative, but eventually maybe I might get good at it. It can't be like a CZ85 Combat or something like that for a 9mm auto pistol, eh? Because those things have ambidextrous. Not that I'm really counting stuff like that or it really matters. I'm just saying it could make a difference, right?
So the last pistol that you find is a Gauss pistol.
There you go. There's your damage weapon.
Yeah, somebody else can have that.
I'll take the gauze pistol.
There you go. Take it, Bohefus. I mean, you never know when the medic's going to need a weapon.
Well, I have actually had the slug is my only combat skill right now. So
Mine too.
yeah.
Well, I mean, you're still level 0 in the others, right?
Yeah.
So you're not firing at -3 at least.
I played the Doctor in our Alternity Star Drive game, and I walked around with a matching set with pearl hand grips of an auto flechette shotgun and an auto flechette pistol. And everybody's like, dude, those are the most terribly lethal, damaging weapons possible. Why is a doctor carrying those? I'm like, they call me Dr. Bastard for a reason.
Yeah. No one's going to let you argue about getting their vaccination shot.
That's right. That is right. And then you do find an advanced combat rifle.
Okay. I'm just going to write that down in group stuff because maybe Jack might want it as well too. So
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have a rifle?
I got, you know what, my characters, I mean, I know the auto rifle can really do some good damage, but I often find that things like rifles become very, very difficult in ships and end up causing more damage to ships.
Right? Yeah.
No.
I don't like carrying large weapons around because it makes it look like I want to fight, and I don't want to fight.
Yeah, like just carrying like something on the side. I mean, it just draws attention. I totally agree with Sarda on that too. It's just
When you've got
not worth it.
when you got these giant shotguns strapped to your back, it just looks like you're.
Like yeah, and I probably won't travel with my shotgun very often, so.
And you also find a laser carbine. TL9 laser carbine.
That I would really like.
So Jack says he would really like the laser carbine.
Well, then take it. As far as I'm
Sounds
concerned.
good.
I mean,
Okay, so we'll give Jack that laser. I'm not even going to write it down and just tell Jack that he can have the laser carbine. That's a tech level 9 one, though, right?
correct.
That's all right. That's still 40 dice damage, I guess. Can't go wrong with that.
Right. And that essentially is the stuff that is worth it to you guys in here.
Okay.
I mean, there's there's of course other things, like there's a small box of those animatronic toy action figures and things like that in there, but you know, and you could donate it to like the children's ward at the Starport Hospital, and you know, aside from
That sounds like a great idea.
aside from that, you know, there's nothing really in here of any major value to you.
Is there a way to look up to make sure that none of those are collectibles?
That's a good question.
I don't know. Let's just donate it. Let's not go down that road.
Let's not go down that rabbit hole. Yeah, because some of those are actually collectible. It actually says that they're collectible. So yeah. Beyond
We're
that,
sorting the Beanie Babies.
Yes,
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
How much
Let's
can we
just
get?
donate them.
So, at this point, you guys are flush with some cash. And I cannot believe that I screwed up this bad. On here. Did I screw up this bad?
I don't
I
know.
don't usually screw up this bad.
You know, I wore my dark side shirt, you know,
Yes.
the Empire, you know, for support for Stormtrooper last week. Then you wear a hoodie. You broke uniform.
So
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is probably the only game that's online that anyone actually has fashion discussions at all. So
I could have worn my R2D2 hoodie as well too. I promise I'll flip that on for next week. I also have a Brown Coats T-shirt as well too. Oh, I got a Traveler coffee mug. Does that count?
nice. So from Tobia, you do find in your personal stuff. You, of course, George, you find your whatever personal notes you had about where you're going and what you were doing, and kind of getting you back on track. And you were headed out to someplace called Chandler Station.
Right.
And I can show you.
Prepping for the jump through the Chandler Station's out in the rift.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's way out there.
it is a ways.
Well, I mean, we were all individually kind of trying to find this Deepnight Revelation, the ship, right?
Right.
It's a party station, though.
It is kind of a party station.
Okay. Before we do anything, before we get going, I'm going to keep 2,500 credits off in the piggy bank, and everybody gets 5,000 credits. Okay, you can just add that to your personal wealth there, so that way I'm not responsible for everything.
Thank you very much.
And there's 5,000 in there for Jack as well, Chris. Okay.
Okay.
I divided it by 6. So, just because he's not here doesn't mean he should miss out on all the loot, right? That's kind of...
Yeah. Well, that is very kind of you.
Take that 5,000 and we're going to buy grenades.
There we go. That. Oops. There we go. Okay. So this is what this looks like. Tobia being all the way up here.
Yeah.
And Chandler way out in the rift. The last stop on... So, essentially, what you were doing, what the original plan was, you were going to be traveling from Tobia to Neon, from Neon to Tonarod, and then from Tonarod to Chandler Station, which was kind of the last stop before heading out into deep space. Now you beyond. George has a contact, somebody to talk to at Chandler Station about where he thinks the Deepnight Endeavour may be, and according to your notes, George, you find that, and of course this is all coming back to you even more and more now, crystal clear in your memories, that you believe that you have come across rumors that there is a deep space refueling cache that is basically supposed to be confidential / top secret. It is a naval asset. The Imperium, of course, doesn't want anybody to know that this thing is out there, and they essentially, it's hush-hush that this thing even exists. There are a couple of there are a couple of deep space rift crews, such as private corporations that also know about this, and that's mostly because in a lot of cases these ships were captained by ex-Navy personnel. You think that if Deepnight had run into some kind of issue, that it may have actually gone to this or limped its way to this refueling cache, and you think that that may be its last known location.
So that's at Chandler Station, right?
So at Chandler's, there's a contact that at Chandler Station. Chandler Station would be a jumping off point to go out somewhere
they're gonna
in the
know
black.
where the Deepnight Endeavour went to.
Right. From Chandler Station, you would be able to go where the Deepnight Endeavour went to. And you think that it is somewhere maybe in this area.
Okay.
Is what your guess is. Somewhere over in here. And you've got a contact with the Scout Service at Chandler Station that you can kind of talk to you and bring up your theories, and but as far as getting from Chandler to wherever you're going, you don't know. That part is up in the air. But step one is getting to Chandler. Pretty much all you guys have been running by the seat of your pants up to this point. So, hey, it's going great so far. So,
Is there anybody that can actually get us to Chandler? That's a jump 3 to Chandler Station.
Right. So
that's not hopping on the back of a far trader even. That's
anybody who wants, if you have any kind of naval background or scout service background, you would get a boon to your dice roll. You can make a broker check, or really, you could also, I suppose, you could also make a streetwise check.
okay. Anybody have naval background?
I do.
Why don't you try Sarda? See how you do.
I've got broker at a flat 0 and streetwise a +1.
Your choice.
Your choice. Wise, but
yeah, it's your choice. Either broker or streetwise, and you get to make it with a boon dice. So roll 3 and pick the 2 highest.
And it's intellect, right?
Correct.
Right,
Well, in this case, it would be your choice of either your social modifier or your charm modifier.
Okay. Well, I rolled 12. I rolled 2 boxcars, 2 6s. So I don't know that I have. My charm's 8. I'm really a mediocre stat wise. I've got 1 stat that gives a bonus, and that's education. So it's a 13.
Okay.
I wrote,
That's actually extremely good. You find that there is a scout ship, the Dione, that is heading to Chandler Station, and the I was going to say your naval contact. It's not somebody that you know. You're just kind of palling around with the naval assets that are here on Tobia. And of course, they are willing to help out a fellow spacer. And the Dione is a Wakaama class scout message boat. And it looks like that.
how do you spell Dione?
It is Dyani.
Okay.
And with your 13, they are willing to set you and your friends up with a berth on the Dione. Now, it was assumed that this will be a working berth, so because the Wakaama is not a big boat, so anything you can do to help out and sleep in shifts, but they have room to set up hammocks and cots and whatnot in the cargo hold. And this is the deck plans for the Wakaama, the Dione, and they're willing to give you guys space, and you can head out to Chandler.
Sounds good. I'm happy to work on the ship. I'm a capable engineer and sensors operator.
So the Dione leaves the next morning, and it's pretty routine. Your stomach kind of drops when you realize, after a week that you are jumping back into the Neon system. You're like, ugh, I don't ever want to see this place again. But the Dione only spends 3 days in the Neon system, and then jumps again to Tonarod. Tonarod being another boring system, but it does have a Class B starport, and it is basically the gateway from the Great Rift into civilized space once more. And so there is very interesting mix of crew and spacers that you meet on Tonorod that they're rough and tumble, but some of these guys seem that they're a little bit emotionally detached. These guys have been out in the Great Rift for a long time, and when you finally are done on Tonorod and leaving, you can feel that sudden fear, because when you look out the windows towards where you're going to be jumping to, you see a lot of black. And the stars that you do see are very distant because they are on the far side of the rift. And so it is a little nerve-wracking when you make that jump. But a week later, the alarm goes off that you're about to exit jump, and everybody crosses their fingers that you're going to be coming to where you are supposed to be. And this is Chandler Station. Now, little metagame. So Chandler Station is all the way out in an orc cloud, and the system that it is in, if you want to call it that, is actually a brown dwarf. And this Chandler Station's all the way out in its orc cloud. Now, on a Sol type planet or a Sol type system, the orc cloud is about 1 light year out. So the Chandler Station, here's the metagame part. I have a hard time believing this. Chandler Station has a geodesic dome, and under this geodesic dome is basically a large hydroponic garden that not only supplies air filtration and food for the station, but it also acts as a public park space where people can go and actually enjoy. My problem with that is that if it is that far out in the orc cloud, even a geodesic dome over this green space, I don't see how they would be getting enough solar light from a brown dwarf to actually function. But I will go ahead and use the magic of hand wavium to ignore that. But so this is Chandler Station, and it is as you described it, it is a party station. There are a lot of rift haulers and things like that. Scout service vessels, deep space exploration craft that dock here. Ships that you haven't really seen a whole lot of. These are designs that are meant to be out there for a long time. They usually have extreme jump capabilities, or they are using drop tanks, things of that nature. External fuel tanks, external cargo pods, so that they can jump further or have more space for fuel, that sort of thing. These are not things that you usually see in charted space regularly. And so you get to Chandler Station. What is the first plan on your list? I mean, are you going to go straight to seeing George's contact? Or are you going to set up lodging for the day? What are you going to do?
I think, you know what? You want to just split the party?
You could, I mean, what could go wrong?
I think maybe we should probably secure ourselves some lodging and maybe pick up any kind of other rumors we might hear, not just from the contact before we approach the contact. See if we can discover anything else that maybe other people might know. Just as kind of an afterthought.
Maybe the first thing we should do is all hold each other's hands and buy some comm units.
That's an excellent idea.
Yeah, let's do that.
I would recommend something more than mobile comms.
Let's go to comm units.
Transceivers would probably be in your best interest.
I already have a neural comm, so I don't need one.
That's true.
What's the range on it? You might want somebody with longer range. Depending.
I have a tech level 12 neural comm. Audio visual computer 0.
Right, but it'll have an actual range listed.
Yeah, it would probably work within 5. It probably works 5,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
Same as a transceiver.
Yeah, it's pretty high tech.
Yeah, so I think I already have a transceiver.
You might. Yeah, my Pirates group, we finally got into the conversation. They've been using mobile comms, which are great, but they have a couple of problems. The first is that if you are not on any world that has a cellular phone network, you don't have any communications. And two, because it is based off of a planet's cellular network, they are not, even with their encryption, they are not the most secure devices available.
What level is this planet or station? What kind of technical level can we purchase?
Chandler Station
6,000.
I mean, the reality is we should have bought this stuff before leaving.
Yeah, I would say that
Tobia is where we should have bought it.
Yeah, I would say that you probably purchased these on Tobia, so you can buy up to tech level 15. Looks like transceivers only go up to 14, so.
Well, the trick's to get like a personal portable computer and then use a comm dot with it.
Right.
Yeah, I also have a personal computer. I have a wafer jack, tech level 12, and I have the neural comm. I'm RoboCop. I don't remember you guys remember that. It's
right.
Pretty ridiculous.
Man, that TL-14 radio transceiver, I mean, it goes 500 kilometers and it's only $500.
Yeah.
That's a nifty.
But it doesn't have the computer built into it.
Right, but you can get a portable computer for not much more. You know, the
right.
Tech level 14 portable computer is 5,000.
Right.
And
then just use the transceiver as your communications device.
So how much is it then for both the computer and the comm dot or the transceiver?
So a comm dot, if I remember correctly, comm dots are cheap. Comm dot will cost you 10 credits.
Okay, so I already have a comm dot. I also have a Meson transceiver?
Oh, you have a Meson transceiver? Okay, well, shit.
Yeah.
All right.
So, I don't know if I actually need anything.
No, I think you're good. Yeah, that's right. You guys... Yeah, Hannibal has a background as a mercenary, so...
That's right.
He's got some shit and some things.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so, he's good.
Yeah, that kind of works.
Yeah, try blocking a Meson or jamming a Meson transceiver. Good luck.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Can you repost that link to the books and everything that you have on your drive? For some reason, that link didn't work for me.
Really? Let me try it again.
If that's the case, then now that once we go, now that we've got communications, I can go arrange for us to have quarters if you guys want to go.
Okay.
I think, I wanted to find out, does anybody have any, find out local rumors before we go find the contact. That way, maybe we can. I'm just thinking, qualify whatever the contact has to say as well, too, right? Or even come close to it. That way, we're not taking one person's word on it. Not that I'm skeptical, but
That sounds fine. Yeah, I have a Taz membership, so I want to go try to, go to the Travelers Aid Society booth and see if I can get a cool lodging for me and my guests.
So yeah, there is a TAS hostel here on Chandler Station. Now, the thing with TAS hostels is that you never know, what you're going to get. On Tobia, if you went to a TAS hostel, it's going to be a fairly nice hotel kind of situation. With a bar and library and smoking lounge and, the whole 9 yards. Probably a restaurant. Here on Chandler Station, it is probably like that one rung below. It's going to be that rung in between like a KOA campground but just below a Motel 6.
Oh, so like a Polish youth hostel.
Yeah. So, one room sleeps like 6 people in bunks. And you have to, when you get out of bed to stand up, you have to suck in your belly to slide between the bunks. It's you're basically sleeping in closets.
Can I pay to upgrade that?
Well, I mean, that's what they offer at the TAS hostel. There's a shower room and bathroom at the end of the hall. But because you're a TAS member, it costs you nothing. There is a hotel, a nightclub / hotel here on Chandler Station that caters to deep space travelers. That if you want to stay there, it'll cost you 100 credits a night per person.
Okay, I will go ahead and drop the 600 credits.
Okay.
And that will be that, and then that will be what Bocephus is doing.
Okay. So, George, you're going to go see your contact, right?
Yeah. Does anybody want to come with me? I'm gonna go look around. I want to cruise through the neighborhood bars and ask about any kind of other rumors regarding the same thing before we go find the contact first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just so I can qualify whatever the contact says is possibly true or possibly false, or.
Well, I wanna
Yeah,
buy
sure,
a
I'll-
wicked good computer
Okay.
with a transceiver.
Okay, so Strata's going to come with me, or Sarda.
Yeah, I'll go with you.
Okay, that's perfect.
Okay. So Sarda and George are going to go do that. So you're buying. So Jack's buying a computer.
and a transceiver, the TL14.
Okay. So what's the total on that?
5500.
Nice. All right. So yeah. So Jack's dropping 5,500 for a smoking hot computer and a TL14 transceiver. So
Same.
nice. Yeah,
I'm
50.
I'm looking at software right now to pick up.
Yeah, software is always a good thing to get.
I think the TL14 transceiver has computer 1, so I'll probably pick up security 1 for it.
Good idea. Yeah, security software is good. Now, if you want to get something like intrusion software, you're going to have to do some streetwise.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna worry about
So
it.
which book is all this stuff in?
That would be
Core rule books where I'm pulling it from.
111.
The core rulebook for Update 2022 is the best source. The second best source is Central Supply Catalog.
Yeah, we're all kind of waiting for the new Central Supply catalog to come out because
It's going to be
obvious that it's going to be changed quite a bit from their old.
It's going to be so much better. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm kind of holding off on allowing that stuff out to my games just because I know that the new book's going to be quite a bit different.
Right. Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to be able to get the new one on opening day. I'm hoping, but I've got Christmas coming up, and so I kind of gotta watch what I'm doing because my wife might end up getting it for me. I don't know. So Jack, or is Jack going to go with Sarda and George, or
Sure.
okay? And
Yeah.
what about Hannibal?
What about Hannibal?
Yeah,
Sorry,
were you going to go with George and Sarda, or are you going to stick around at the hotel / nightclub with Bocephus?
Well, real quick, can I do want to buy a computer.
Okay.
And shoot. Sorry, guys. I'm flipping through the book here.
That's okay, man.
Let's see. I think it might be in my best interest here to get, let's see. I don't know. TL14 looks like the best one I can get, right?
Yeah, more than likely.
So I'll go ahead and make that purchase. And then it needs software.
Yep.
So as far as the software goes, what exactly is this used for?
So it's essentially just like you would buy software for a computer in real life. And it gives a little bit of a description. Now, of course, the computer is going to come with interface automatically. On a TL14, I would say that it probably comes with an intelligent interface. That's going to be a part of the OS. Security software is basically your firewall and VPN package. It's going to stop people from breaking into your computer. Intrusion software is your hacking software that you would need to make a streetwise check in order to purchase that stuff because it is generally illegal.
And expensive.
Yeah, expert software is software that you can buy that will mimic skills. Now, you can run expert software on a computer, say a portable computer, but more often than not, expert programs are used on wafers, basically USB thumb drives, that you plug into a wafer jack in your neck. And they're good for intelligence or education-based skills. So you can plug in a wafer and suddenly you know science, biology. Or you can plug in a wafer and you know profession, accounting.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I have a wafer jack in the back of my head. So I have agent software and I have expert mechanic because my mechanic is only a 0. So it helps me fix things. Like I'll just bring up like a little schematic. Oh yeah, you actually fix this component like this. So that's kind of how it works. It's really great for augmenting skills.
So
Okay.
Agent software is an interesting one, and the most common use for agent software that I found is, let's say that you jump into a system. So you want to, this is just a hypothetical. You jump into a system and you want to hack a computer that is on a mining station that's on an asteroid in the belt. But that's going to be like 3 days of travel at 1G thrust. So you can technically use your communication system with your computer, and you can send the agent out, and it will go out and travel that great distance through your comm system, go to that computer, use its intrusion software to hack into it, get the information that you want, assuming it doesn't get caught, and come back out and then make the journey back to your ship without you having to actually physically be there to hack in. That's an example of using agent software. It's a semi-intelligent package that can use expert programs to essentially do what you tell it to do. And it's got a moderate intelligence at doing the task. Of course, it's not going to be as good as usually as if you were doing it, or maybe it is. Maybe it's better.
Okay.
It just depends.
Okay. Well, I think right now I'm going to get that intelligent interface, unless it's already included. I want the security. I think I'll do the TL12 on that.
Okay.
And then,
That's 20,000 credits, man. Did you come with that much money? Holy crap.
yeah.
Yeah, like I said, they had some successful mercenary runs.
Wow.
And then,
I scrambled to buy stuff.
let's see.
The
And then I
giant,
think I
giant-
want the translator.
and then a giant porn database.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Database.
and a whole shoebox full of wafers so you can download everything.
That's right. But I don't see the wafers here.
I think they're under cybernetics, and I don't believe that they're in this book. You probably have to go to the.
Yeah, I think if I remember, a wafer, and there's no limit on memory, but a wafer is like 5 credits. They're super cheap.
I'll do that at another time, just because.
I would just assume that you probably have them. I mean,
The core the core rulebook's pretty light on the cybernetic stuff.
yeah, it is. It's got the basics, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's the one exception. I had one of my players got 3 free, augmentations, and so I did open up the other book for the augmentation just because it was such a thin list in the core.
So George, Sarda, and Jack, go ahead and you guys, the 3 of you, can all make streetwise plus your choice, either charm or social checks.
So charm or social checks.
Yeah.
I guess we're doing streetwise charm because my social's not very good. 6 plus 2 is 8.
Okay.
A bonus for charm, so that's only an 8.
I'm rolling hot. I got an 11 with my
Wow.
with my
You are
plus
rolling
1.
hot tonight.
Because I'm really bad at these. Like all my stats are across the board 7 to 8.
I don't know. So far tonight, I think we've picked you as our streetwise guy.
Yeah, and like I have like the +2 intellect and the +2 streetwise, and you're killing it.
So, all right. So, between the 3 of you, thanks to Sarda, you pick up a little bit of info. Most of the stuff that you get, people pretty much they kind of laugh at the idea that you're trying to look for this ship. It's been missing for a couple months, and there is a 100,000 credit reward for finding it, and they're like, you're never gonna find it, but you do get some information that there are rumors confirming that there is a deep space cache out here. Now, one of the things that you do learn is that the Endeavour, and this is what the Endeavour looked like whole. Now, this is a very peculiar ship. These pods on the bottom of it, each of those is an individual fuel tank, but they're not just fuel tanks. Those actually operate as shuttles. And so Endeavour has the capability for these pods or these shuttles to undock from the main ship, can go and skim from a gas giant and return. Now, Endeavour itself has an internal fuel supply, and so one of the contacts that you are talking to, they don't entirely laugh off what you're implying. He says it is possible that if the ship ran into difficulties, it could have jumped as far as these 6 fuel shuttles would carry it, jettison the fuel shuttles to lower the weight, and then make a final jump using internal fuel to this rumored fuel cache. That is entirely possible. And so he kind of, says, yeah, that's plausible. I don't know that you'll ever find it, but that is plausible. You, in the course of your questions, you spend another 60 credits on buying people drinks and,
Yeah, I'll mark that off.
buttering them up, so to speak. Buy them shots of Night Train, it'll go further.
Right, of course, always. I'm letting Sarda do the talking, and I'm just paying for the drinks because obviously he's got way better rolls tonight than I do.
Yeah, so you find that, the theory that it's sitting out there at a deep space naval fuel cache isn't as implausible as the people that George and Jack were talking to that basically just laughed at them. They're like, oh, you're treasure hunters. Oh, you're going to dig up the money pit and find nothing. But Sarda finds this guy and he's like, yeah, that's not beyond a reasonable estimation.
Okay. I guess we'll just go find our contact right now, or my contact, and then see what information they can provide for us. And of course, I think we can collaborate everybody's story.
Okay, so the 3 of you make your way to the scout. So Chandler Station does have a small, I'm really hesitant to call it a scout base, but they have a office.
For the scout services.
Yeah, for scout services. For things just like, the Diani that brought you here. And your contact that you have had, I don't want to call it routine because messages are few and far between, but you've had some contact through email kind of messages. He's surprised to see George actually come in because he honestly didn't think that anybody would be that interested in following up on this information. And he didn't quite believe that George would make it out here. But he's excited to see you. And he says, one of the first, after shaking hands and saying, oh, we're finally meeting each other in person. He says, so, you're here, so I take it that you are hell-bent on trying to find Endeavour.
Well, that's kind of why I'm here too. I mean, there's a girl, the missing girl from the system of Blue that actually got me onto this. So I'm here to try to find out if I can find this missing Deepnight Exploration Endeavour, find this missing girl, hopefully alive.
Says, well,
I can split the reward here with my compatriots.
He says, I don't know if I can help as much as you may be needing. He says, but I have a, it's currently mothballed. It was going to be possibly sold as for parts, but she does still run. It is a Serpent-class scout ship, the Askaya. I know that you're not a member of the Scout Service, but I would be willing to I guess deputize you as a member, you and your compatriots as members of the Scout Service, for the purposes of operating the Askaya essentially to check out this fuel depot. You know, it would be a good idea to. He doesn't confirm or deny that the fuel depot is real. He just goes on like it is a known fact that there is a fuel depot. 2 jumps out in the middle of a blank parsec of space out in the middle of the black. He says, you know, I can deputize your crew into the scout service for the purposes of this mission of scouting out and basically doing a review of the fuel depot. And then you could refuel there and return to me with the review, and we'll put it on the scout service records.
So do you have the the location of the fuel depot? And
yeah, he points it out on a map, and indeed, he says that it should be right here. We'll show you where right here is. He says that it should be here.
That's not too far away.
No, it is. He says that it should be 2 parsecs away. He says, you know, towards the Usher protostar, as the crow flies.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna get on my comm and confer with the rest of the crew that isn't there, like Bohefus, and I think Jack is with Bohefus.
Jack's with you, but Hannibal and Bocephus are back at the nightclub.
Okay, so if they can overhear through the loud music and drinks and partying, so Bohefus and Hannibal, I'll just basically say, look, we have the use of a scout ship to see if we can find this $100,000 gold mine. We'll call it that, right?
Probably
$100,000 credit or 100,000 credit.
Do we
find?
Right.
It's too bad the USS Les crashed.
Yes.
Yeah.
they had a safari ship called the USS Les.
Do we have the capabilities of running the ship?
And do we have an astrogator? I know we have an engineer, but do we have a pilot?
Yeah, does anybody have pilot?
I do.
No, Jack does.
I have pilot 1.
I have pilot 0. I have no astrogation whatsoever.
Yeah, I can work comms.
You have
It's astrogation that we really need.
Astrogation.
So Jack's got astrogation 1 and piloting 1.
Cool.
We got a wicked computer. Could we astrogate with that?
I was gonna say you could
I have
buy
computers 1 too, so
yeah, you could buy an expert program to astrogate for you.
It's not going to be great though. I mean, even if you got an expert 3, it basically have a +2.
Right.
If you have a high intelligence or education, your 1 will probably be better.
That's true.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's better than nothing, but I mean, you're probably gonna be a better astrogator.
I have small craft 1, but of course you're gonna have 0 and everything else, but that's pretty much where my piloting skills stop.
So if we run into a fighter or a shuttle,
Yeah, I'll be good with that. Just give me a pinnace, and I'll just transport people back and forth like I used to do with the prisoners back in the old days, right?
So one of the things when we finished up last week, and I just want to make sure, Sarda, George, Bocephus, and Jack, you all get 1 XP point that you can spend on a skill.
Oh, do we all get an XP point then?
Yes. I wasn't sure if
Spend it now, or can we save it?
You need to spend it as soon as you can, and you can spend it wherever you would like. If I remember correctly, that is in... Hold on.
it's the
I want to say page 38 of Traveler Companion.
Campaign.
one point will get you to 0 or get a 0 to 1.
Correct.
Get you a 0 and a skill or yeah.
Yep, page 38
I'm gonna
of page 39 of the Traveler Companion has.
And you said that it can be something that we haven't been using. It could be anything you're saying.
It can be anything.
All right.
I'm gonna go ahead.
I might go for the astrogation, so that I'm at least 0 in it.
I'm gonna get cybernetics, so that way it will help me medically help you people that have been augmented.
Yeah, that might be a really good idea in case we get
Yeah, good call.
damaged. We're a little bit more difficult to work on than the average bear.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to spend it on cybernetics. So,
Do science cybernetics?
yes.
Nice.
0. But I mean, at least it makes it so I don't have to take extreme negatives. I can improve upon it as we adventure more.
Okay, and I'm going to basically just up my mechanics from a 0 to a 1. Okay?
Good idea.
Because I already have the expert mechanic one, so that'll I was using that to offset having a 0.
Right.
So that'll give me an extra bonus on any mechanical checks.
So, you guys make it back to this nightclub. I don't know if you want to whoop it up with drinks and then hit the hay, or just get a good night's rest. I mean, you're going to be in jump space for a week, so it doesn't matter either way.
Yeah. We can sleep if we're dead.
Well, the write-up was that the whole staff just is in a constant party with every single person that docks.
Exactly. Yeah. There is no closing time. So.
Well, it's just every single ship passing through is usually either going into the rift or coming out of the rift, and so they're all kind of freaked out, and so it's just the staff just has massive parties the whole time.
Yeah, the nightclub that you guys nightclub / hotel that you're staying in, like I said, there's no closing time, and you're on the station. I'll bring up the picture of the station again. So like this entire outer ring of the station is the docking ring and the main concourse, and it is basically just a stumbling row all the way around the station, going from one bar to another, and there's restaurants and some of the bigger chains are actually here. There's an Astro Burger, there is a Brewhouse Tavern, although the Brewhouse Tavern doesn't so much operate like they usually do. Brewhouse, they have like vegetable platters and whatnot that are offered locally from the food grown in the geodesic dome, but for like their meat products, of course, everything's imported. The hotel that you're staying is actually the Planetfall Bar and Grill. And the cool thing about Planetfall is that each room, the ceiling of the room is a dome looking out into space. Which is touristy, not so much that a lot of the rift haulers are really that interested in staying in one of these rooms. They've been looking at the black for too long as it is. So yeah, there's no closing time. So you guys, you can spend as much as you want and get as drunk as you want the night before you decide to leave. You can eat the best meals that you want to eat. I don't care how much you want to spend. Just tell me what you want to spend.
Yeah, I'm just going to have a moderate meal. I'm not going to, overspend it all or...
I'm partying.
Yeah.
I would say a moderate
I'll
meal...
be the caretaker.
I would say that a moderate meal is going to run you, 40 credits. If you're partying, you're talking 150 to 200 credits.
All right, I'm dropping 200.
I'm gonna drop 2,000 on us just eating crab legs and taking high-dollar sake shots.
Nice.
And yeah, that's what I'm like. Oh man, it's our calm has to reach certain levels in order to go through the long journey of space. So, Nagori for me and all my mates.
How much is Jack gonna drop on partying?
You're just happy you don't have to swim and catch it yourself.
Yeah, that's all right.
So 40 credits for a moderate meal. All right. So Jack says he's not partying. He's got to drive. So-
I'm the driver, so we're good with that. But we can just make sure at least two sober people can stop anybody from getting into any serious trouble and avoid any.
What's Hannibal gonna drop?
Hannibal is gonna eat like a king and then take his fat ass to bed.
Okay. So if you're eating like a king, probably I would say 100 credits.
Beautiful.
So you guys, you you live it up within your chosen means, and as you're sitting around watching Sarda get trashed, dancing with questionable women, you're kind of going over the charts on Jack's fancy new computer, and even though you've got verbal confirmation from George's contact and rumors that you've picked up. You've got verbal confirmation that there's something out there. It doesn't lessen the nerves that you have, that you're basically jumping into black space and there's nothing on the map to prove to you that there's any way for you to refuel and get back. That still causes a gnawing pit in everybody's stomach.
Yeah, I don't feel good about it.
If you drink enough, you don't even think about it, And that cute girl over there with the glowy, sparkly laser tassels. Oh, it's just wonderful.
You basically just
Also
described
has
my
a bunch
entire
of
life from
sequins on the dick.
You
Yep.
just described my entire life from 21 to 29. So the next morning, the crew stumbles into. Wow, this is huge. Way bigger than I thought it needed to be. You stumble into. And this doesn't have everything that I wanted it to have. What am I doing? Into your borrowed ship.
Okay.
Hold on here.
Seems like a nice ship. There's plenty of room to sleep, and you got a nice little.
So this is a Serpent class. And, the Serpent class is a fairly standard scout ship, not unlike the Type S. The bigger difference is that the Serpent class seems to handle planetary entry a little bit better. And it is generally used or saved for higher ranking scouts. Now, this particular Serpent class, the Askaya, has been around for quite a while. And all of the seats are, the upholstery is trash. There's springs sticking out in a lot of spots. There are dubious stains everywhere. One of the cabinets in the galley doesn't want to latch shut unless you kick it really hard. That kind of thing. But it seems like it's mostly serviceable.
That's what duct tape's for.
Yeah, that's right. Duct tape.
It's great.
A couple of pennies in the fuse box, you're good.
Super glue.
Right. So, who is going to make the astrogation check?
I will.
All right.
Not
Jack.
it.
All right, Jack. Make your astrogation plus intellect or education your choice. Ooh. Well, shit. All right. And who's going to pilot her out of space dock? I guess maybe Jack once again.
Is it Dex?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be
he's
piloting
multiple.
spacecraft plus Dex.
Nice.
Wow, he made that look easy.
Did some donuts.
Yeah, backwards. So Jack's making this look simple. The next, so Jack pilots it out. Doesn't have to go too far because you're in the Oort cloud of this system. So it's not like you have to get too far to get to a 100 diameter limit. The Serpent class really has enough power to get you to where you need to be. You don't have to really do any jump dimming or anything like that. Who is going to make the engineering J drive?
I think that'll be me. How much did he beat the astrogation by? Because I think I get that as a modifier, right?
You do. It is a +3.
All right.
J drive plus intellect or education, your choice, +3.
18's pretty good.
Wow! And you guys make your jump, and you will land directly on target. In fact, you'll probably land directly on target. Approximately, you are estimating 5 hours earlier than expected.
Nice.
Okay, and like I just want to qualify this because I know you're going to end this. There's something there, right? I mean, it's great to have all these fantastic rolls, but like, there's something there, right?
We'll find out when we get there.
You will.
It's a good cliffhanger.
It is a cliffhanger. You will find out next week at 7 o'clock on Friday.
Floating in the blackness.
Hopefully, we're playing on Friday. You will find out what is there, and we will pick this up next week.
Yeah, I wish I could play, but I've got a brother in town who's visiting for Thanksgiving. So
no, I totally understand. Yeah, that's why I threw this out there. So I will get back together with you guys. I'll ask the question again Monday and Tuesday, and if we can get everybody minus Will, we'll probably shoot for it, and we'll pick it up then.
Sweet.
If I leave Toronto on time, I should be back in time.
Okay. All right. Well,
everybody be safe.
And I hope
Thank you.
everybody has a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Yeah, have a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, you guys.
Yep, happy Thanksgiving.
I'm glad you're feeling better, Chris. I mean, it sounded like it was pretty rough.
Oh my God, there was no liquid left in my body.
That's never good.
No, and I talked to my doctor about it, and it's weird because I didn't have any other symptoms, and I had started 2 new medications that day, and we're thinking that with the ear infection, the antibiotic, and I'm now on Cosentyx I have psoriasis. We're thinking that just
I have
destroyed
psoriasis. I have severe psoriasis as well, and I've heard Cosentyx can be problematic. So hopefully you don't have any issues.
Well, I took it a second time today, and so far I feel okay. So maybe it was just that first initial dose, but ooh, man, I was sick.
Yeah.
Like I was
That's
running. So thanks, guys. I will see you next week.
All right, take
All
care.
right.
Bye.
Have a good
Down
night.
low, guys.
Take care.